Mason PUD3's Johns Prairie Operations Center is bordered by Johns Creek to the north. This is a native salmon-bearing creek, home to over 14,000 chum salmon that return to spawn in Johns Creek each year. The salmon that call Johns Creek home have one of the longest migrations in Puget Sound. After spending 2 to 5 years maturing in the North Pacific, adult chum salmon return to Puget Sound by way of the Straits of Juan de Fuca. They bypass the mouth of Hood Canal and head past Elliott Bay and downtown Seattle. Opting for more of the country life, they swim past Point Defiance and under the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Through the Nisqually Reach and around Harstein Island, they miraculously make their way around Cape Horn and into Hammersley Inlet. More of their friends are dropped off to head home up Goldsboro Creek and Shelton Creek, and a little rest stop is had in Oakland Bay. When the tide is right, they make for the mouth of Johns Creek at the Bayshore Preserve. From there, it's just a short swim upstream to their home in PUD3's backyard. Once they're home here in Johns Creek, the female salmon work to build a nest out of gravel called a redd. When they're ready to lay their 3,000 eggs, a male chum will fertilize the eggs with his milt by performing a ritual called crossing over. About 90 days later, the young alevins have turned into small fry and make their way to the Pacific Ocean. Now, after the female lays their eggs and the male fertilizes it, it's time for them to die. And it makes for a very, very smelly backyard here at PUD3. At Mason PUD3, we're big fans of salmon, not just because we enjoy fishing for, catching, and devouring their deliciousness, but because we're a public utility that considers the short-term and long-term impacts of our activities on the environment. Being a good steward of our natural resources is what we do. We deliver clean, renewable, and reliable electricity from solar, wind, and hydropower. But with great power comes great responsibility. Did you know 1/3 of our power rates go towards fish and wildlife mitigation? Over the last several years, Pacific Northwest Public Utilities and their customers invested nearly $1 billion for fish and wildlife programs in the Columbia River Basin. And as a result, there are more fish in the Columbia River than at any time since the first lower main stem dam was built at Bonneville in 1938. All of these stats are great for the Columbia River salmon, but what about the salmon that are from Mason County? The ones that make their home right here in Johns Creek. Before construction, leaders from PUD3 created a task force with the Squaxin tribe, the Port of Shelton, and the City of Shelton to extend the city's water main over 2 miles to ensure that the water needs of the Operations Center were coming from city water and not from the aquifers tied to Johns Creek. We've also worked diligently through the design of our facility, which is LEED Gold certified, to improve the quality of chum habitat right here at the Johns Prairie Operations Center in Mason County. We have a lot of big trucks at PUD3 that help us maintain and build the electrical infrastructure here in Mason County. Sometimes these trucks drip oil and diesel and other things that we don't want to make their way into the Johns Creek Basin. I call this a truck diaper. It's an absorption mat that goes underneath the big trucks to collect the drips of the oil and diesel and other contaminants as they drip off the truck. And this is a special drainage system throughout our whole site that goes to an oil water separator. With the heavy diesel trucks that make up our line fleet, we needed to have a lot of paved, impervious surface. Okay, vocab alert. Impervious, not allowing fluid to pass through. We needed to have a lot of paved, impervious surface, which creates a lot of stormwater runoff. We installed a system of rain gardens planted with native species throughout the site, which captures this runoff and filters it before it makes its way to the Johns Creek Basin. When talking about storm runoff and impervious surfaces, I love the visual that snow gives us. All of this moisture has to go somewhere. And our water-saving dual flush toilets are filled with reclaimed rainwater gathered on site. We've also worked with other local environmental partners here in Mason County to restore woody debris in the creek. This provides shade and shelter for the salmon on their way upstream. Local Mason County students also visit us regularly here at the Johns Prairie Operations Center to learn about salmon, the water cycle, renewable energy, and environmental friendly design standards. Do you want to learn more about the fish and the hydropower dams that produce low-cost, renewable, clean, carbon-free energy that we enjoy right here in Mason County? Take a dam tour. Bonneville Dam near Portland, Oregon offers free tours at their learning center. Watch the flying fish at the fish ladder, go underwater to the fish counting windows, become a junior ranger, and marvel at the incredible feat of engineering created to harness the power of the river for the benefit of the Pacific Northwest, including us right here in Mason County.